Hello, 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 friends. Hello, family. How are you guys on this wonderful, and I mean wonderful Friday afternoon? Hello, Instagram. Thank y'all guys for or y'all guys, you guys for popping on. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Facebook. If you are in the room, go ahead on and hit that share. Let somebody else know that we are live on today talking about how to manage life transitions. And then I will be giving some tips on how you can do that, mastering change and transformation successfully, so that you don't get stuck, so that you don't feel defeated, so that you don't feel like you're just out here lost in the middle of your season of change and transition. So come on in. Come on in, y'all, and let me know how you are doing. Hit the share. Hit the share. Let somebody know that we are live. I'm trying to get my comments up here so I can know What's going on? Let's see here. So if you're in here, go ahead on and let me know where you're coming from. Where are you from? Where are you joining from? I think it's been like a week, and I really wanted to come on today. Not really very formal, but yeah, I wanted to come on because I felt like I needed to share with you guys some things that have been laid on my heart, especially with our family being in the middle of transitioning, and some things that God has really just laid on my heart during this season. And I know in true form of how my life works, that if I'm dealing with something, chances are there are a lot of other people that are struggling with transitions. And so I wanted to make sure that I come on and to encourage somebody. Like you just never know. Sometimes you never know what people are dealing with. And so I always like to come on and encourage someone to, number one, let you know that you're not in this thing by yourself, but also to offer you some tips, some strategies, some things that I'm actually implementing in my own life that is helping me with managing the transition or the season of transition that our family or that I'm in right now. So let's get started. If y'all ready, go ahead on and hit the like button, give me some hearts and let me know that you are ready. YouTube, let me know that you are ready. So let's go. I wanted to start here because I felt like I needed to. So about a week ago, I had a dream, and I dream a lot. And so I usually pay attention to my dreams. I wake up, I have to. Like if I don't wake up and record them, then I typically forget about them unless God brings them back to my mind, and then I'll go back and record them or I write them down. But this particular dream, I woke up and I knew that I needed to grab some pen and paper immediately and figure out what this dream was saying, or what this dream meant. And so I'm not going to go into all the details of the dream, because usually my dreams are like 2, 3, 4, 5 scenes sometimes. And so I have to break them down in scenes and figure out, and ask the Lord, like, what are you trying to say to me? What does this really mean? When you're saying this. And I have my dream dictionaries that I look up things and scriptures and all of that as the Lord brings them to my mind. And so this particular dream was filled with a whole lot of transitions. And all of my dreams usually are, but these were somehow so how do I say? It was almost like it was a continuation of the dream, because usually sometimes there are different scenes and I'm trying to figure out, well, how does these go into each other? What kind of theme is in this, and what does it mean? But this particular dream, like I literally went out of one into another as if I was going into different rooms in a house or something. And so I woke up out of this dream and I began to write, and got halfway through the first scene when the Lord just literally started dropping into me what this dream meant. And as I shared with you guys in the beginning that our family is going through a season of transition. Like we're in the process of moving, and we're in the process of doing some things in our house and in our jobs and careers and businesses. Like we just have transition all over the place. Like our children are growing up. We have 2 older children. I don't know what's going on with you, Instagram. So if you're having trouble with connecting, you may want to hop on Facebook or YouTube. So we just have a lot of change, a lot of transitions going on in our life right now, and it can be overwhelming. It literally can be overwhelming, particularly when you don't necessarily know what's gonna come and how it's gonna happen, and what to expect once you get there. And if anything like me, then you thrive off of knowing what's next. Like I need to know what's next so that I can properly prepare and plan where I am, and I need to know, like, Lord, what are you doing? Like I literally don't know what's next. And so the Lord just really let me know that the way that I was handling, like I have my notes here from the dream, so I want to make sure that I'm saying what the Lord has said to me. But the what the Lord really let me know is that how I was handling the season that I am in, the transition that I am in, is what's really making it hard. It wasn't so much that transition itself is hard, but the transition itself is difficult. But it's even more difficult because of how I'm looking at it, and because I'm operating it, or was operating in fear, and because I just wouldn't allow myself to let go and trust where God is trying to take us, and trust what God is trying to take me. And so in that, he let me know, it's like, hey, you're trying to hold on. Like, I'm trying to take you to a particular place. I'm trying to take your family to a particular place. But what you want to do, you want to hold on and control, and you want to be safe and hold on to what's safe and do things the way things have always been done. So, but you can't do that in this season. In this season, you literally have to let go of what you know is true, what you thought was true, the ways that you've always done things. Like, you literally have to let go of that and trust that I am taking you to another place. I am taking you somewhere where there is safety, because there is safety in God. And so all the while, like, I'm literally writing. Like, I'm just kind of checking, like, Lord, what are you saying? I'm going back over what God is saying. But I literally was writing the whole time in tears, because I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, oh my goodness, I have not done good. I have not done well with handling this change. I have not. And I'm just being honest for me. Like, I have not done well with handling this change. And how I knew it is because of my attitude. So I want to offer you today some things that I have begun to implement in my own life as I am transitioning, because change is inevitable. You will encounter some change at some point in time. I feel like I've been through a season of change over the last 3 years, maybe. Wait, it was 2022. 2020 was COVID, and there was a whole lot of changes with that, but there were a whole lot of personal changes for me then. And then it's just continued. Like, there's been seasons of change all over the place. And like I said, it can get overwhelming, because it can get overwhelming for me. And then another thing that God just really let me know in that season is that I was not giving myself grace. Like, I was not giving myself grace. August is one of those months that's just there's change with the children going back to school. Yes, that's one change that we just kind of expect, because, August, the kids go, well, for us, we're in the South. I'm in Mississippi. We're in the South, and our children tend to go back in August. That's not true for everyone. But we tend to expect naturally that August is coming around. We know that the children have got to go back to school, and that, the natural things happen. Children are going off to college, they've graduated, and, that natural things are happening. But for me, on top of that, I'm approaching the first year of my mom's death. She died on August the 20th. And so not only am I dealing with the emotions of just the natural change and transition, I'm also dealing with the emotion of what has happened for me in my life with the loss of my mom, and how that in itself has been a transition. Because when I want to share good news of what's going on in my life, or what's going on in, with the children or things like that, what I typically would do would pick up the phone and call my mom. But that has been a transition for me, in that I can't pick up the phone and call my mom. That's been a change for me. And so I'm not only coping with all of this other stuff I'm trying to cope with on the top of, okay, yeah, the death of mom is coming up on August the 20th. And it's a lot of emotions there. There's a lot of emotions there. So I know that I'm not the only one that's dealing with change. I'm not the only one that's dealing with transition. And so I want to offer you some tips on how to manage transition so that you don't get stuck and stay where you know that you don't need to be. Even if it's mental space, being stuck there when you know that God is trying to take you somewhere else. So what is transition? What is transition? Transition, according to dictionary.com, is the process or a period of changing from one state or condition to another. Or another definition is to undergo or to cause to undergo a process or period of transition. So you're changing from one state, one condition to another. So let's go through like what are some types of transitions, because we sometimes we throw out transition and some people may think it's death, and it's it could be death or it could be just a change in career. So I want to go over some typical transitions that we see or we go through in our life. Number one, a college to a full-time career. So we may have college students who have been used to, the college schedule. I know that transition was a difficult one for me. Like, you're used to this college schedule where in August comes, you're getting ready to go back to school. You don't have to worry about as many bills other than the school tuition. For some of you, don't have to worry about anything but school tuition and making sure that room and board is taken care of. But now you don't have that. And so now you're trying to figure out, well, how do I live life? What is my life going to look like now that I can't wake up at 10 o'clock and go to class? I actually have to get up and go to work at 6 or 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning. So that's one transition, a college to a full-time career. And then there's the transition from single to married, or from married to divorce, or from being in a relationship to not being in a relationship, or from not being in a relationship to being in a relationship. And then there's birth or adoptions or additions to families. That is another transition that you have to deal with, or some people are dealing with. And then moving, empty nesters. I know people who are literally looking at their house like, all the kids gone. That ain't my testimony. We still got two little people. But for some of you, you're literally looking in your house and maybe looking at the person that you've been sharing life with for the last 15, 20, 30, 40 years or whatever. And you're like, hey, I really don't know you. Because your life has literally been wrapped around or centered around making sure that your little people or that your children are taken care of. And now you actually have to figure out how to do life with the other person. And to be honest, for some of you, you may come out not liking the person that you thought you was going to spend the rest of your life with. Or you may realize that the only reason why you were with that person is because you guys were just there to raise those children. And I really don't like you no more. So for some of you, looking at empty nest may actually mean looking at not continuing a marriage. So another one is then a loss of career or needing to change careers. I know people that are in the process now of changing careers. And so there's actually a loss there because you may have went into the career thinking, hey, I'm going to retire in this. Like, this is where I know I'm going to move up the chain. I already know what position I'm looking at, and I'm going to go from this position to that position. I already know how I'm going to work this out and all of that. And then boom, you can no longer work there. Or they close the job, because there are a lot of jobs that are closing down now. They close the job, and then there goes your plan. There goes where you thought your life was going to be right now at this moment, or in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And then there's another one. The last one we're going to talk about, a type of transition, is a sudden disability. Now, this could mean cancer. This could mean loss of limb. This could be a mental health struggle that you're dealing with at the moment, but it's a sudden disability. It's something that you have got to learn how to live your life differently because of this other thing that you're struggling with, whether physical or whether it's something that you've been recently diagnosed with. One thing that comes to my mind is cancer. It's a sudden disability. You may not have pictured that this is where your life would be, or that you would be coping with a loved one who has had a sudden diagnosis of cancer, or who may be in the latest stages and have refused treatment. These are all transitions that people are dealing with in their life. So it's easy. It is so easy when you're dealing with transition to really get stuck there. Why? Because we're human. Like, we're human. We want consistency. We want safety. Like, there's something safe about knowing what's coming the next day. Like, it's something safe. I just went and bought a planner, and it's something safe. Like, we crave the consistency. We crave knowing what to expect. We long for that. Like, that's one of those needs that we just need to know. Like, we need to know, have some security. And so when that security is taken out, sometimes we can literally get stuck there and want to hold on to where we are out of feeling safe, or wanting to feel safe, or wanting to feel secure. Because sometimes it's easier to hold on, or at least we think it is. It's easier to hold on to what is safe or what is secure, versus risking the failure, or the possible failure, or what is in the unknown. So here are some signs that you may be stuck in your transition of grief. And I posted some of these the other day on my Facebook page. So you can go back and check those out if you missed them today. Number one, you feel lost. You just kind of feel lost. Like, I'm out here, I really don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I don't know what I'm going to do with my world. Like, my world has changed, and I really just don't know what I'm doing. I just feel lost. I feel so lost. Then another one, you may feel a sense of, like, hopelessness. Like, hopelessness and not having a purpose. Like, I really don't know why I'm here. Like, I really, I just may as well stay right here and die. Or stay right here and not physically die, but emotionally, spiritually. I may as well just stay right here, because I don't really have much hope for my future. I really don't know what's coming in the future. And I really don't want to know what's in the future, because I'm comfortable right here. I really don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm called to do. I don't know what I should be doing right now. And then another one, you may be responding or feeling stuck by isolating, or dealing with it by isolating or withdrawing. Because it's something comforting about I'm just going to stay to myself and deal with my stuff by myself. I'm not, and y'all good on trying to match energies and all this stuff nowadays, but I'm just going to keep myself over here. I don't know about all that matching energy stuff, but I'm just going to keep myself over here because I don't want to disturb nobody else. I don't want nobody, I just want to deal with my stuff my own way. So you isolate or you withdraw. And then another one is being resentful. This one is hard because resentment usually comes from bitterness. Or resentment usually comes from repeated failures, or feeling like you're just kind of hopeless and you just kind of expect to be let down. So you're resentful for the place that you don't see, you're resentful for the place that you're in right now, and you don't really see a way out of that. So you start resenting people, or resenting where you are, or blaming people for where you are and how you ended up here. So the resentment and the bitterness starts setting in. And then another sign that you're stuck in a transition is relationship or marital issues start to resurface. Those are signs that you may be stuck in a transition. So what do? Like, okay, I found myself, like, yes, I'm in the middle of a transition. And I've kind of found myself in one of those. Yes, I feel stuck. I don't necessarily know what's coming. I'm feeling lost. I'm feeling hopeless. I'm feeling empty. I'm feeling like my life is just meaningless and I don't have purpose and I don't even know how to start over. I don't know where I should go. I don't even know how to take the next steps. How do you manage and handle where you are and manage it successfully so that you don't get stuck? Or if you are stuck, that you can get unstuck. So I'm going to go over some tips, and you may want to write them down. First tip, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Yeah, woohoo. Yeah. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because that's where change happens. Change happens when you're uncomfortable. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling uncomfortable right now, you're feeling unsure, then you are, my friend, in a better place. I ain't gonna say you're in a good place, because I know how it feels to be in a place where you're just not comfortable. Like, it don't feel good. It literally don't feel good. It don't feel good feeling uncertain about the future. That does not feel good. But the moment that we get comfortable, I don't know what it is about us that we think that we should be comfortable and that life is just supposed to be convenient. Who told us that? Where did we get that from? Where did we get that from? I think sometimes we mistake security with comfort. I think sometimes we mistake that. So I don't know where we get the idea that we should be comfortable and that life is not, supposed to be convenient. Everything's just supposed to fly smoothly. No. The minute that you get comfortable, you start dying. Why? Because change is what challenges us. Change is what pushes us to our next level. And being uncomfortable, there's something about being uncomfortable that makes you say, ooh, I'm either going to continue on or I'm going to go back. And hopefully you continue moving forward. Hopefully you continue moving forward. And hopefully you get out of the idea that you're supposed to be comfortable. You're not going to ever be. If you are destined to be somebody in life, which most of you are, then you will never be comfortable. You will never be comfortable. So you might as well go ahead on and get used to the fact that you won't be comfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the comfort you can rely on, is that you will always be uncomfortable. And when you are in an uncomfortable space, then that's the moment that you start challenging yourself. A lot of the reason why we're stuck is because of how we're looking at things. This is all about mindset. This is about how we're looking at where we are. And that's what it was for me. It was all about looking at where I was. It wasn't so much that it was a bad space, because it's an uncomfortable space. But on the other side of it, there's growth here. There's opportunity here. We're going to someplace better. We're having the opportunity of redoing some things that we didn't do the right way in the beginning. So even though it's uncomfortable and it doesn't feel good and there may be some losses that you're dealing with, there are also some opportunities of growth. So get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the first one. The next one, get connected. This is especially for those who like to isolate when they're going through things or when things are not happening the way we think, they should happen, and you want to just be by yourself. Yeah, I want to challenge you to get connected. Get connected. Find you a support group. If your babies are going off out of town and leaving the nest, then find you some friends that's also dealing with big empty nesters. Find a couple that is dealing with how to look at their marriage differently now that they don't have children living at home. Or if you're single, then find some other singles that you can connect with to help support you through this season. But whatever you do, the worst thing to do is to isolate and withdraw during this time. That is the worst thing that you can do. Get connected. This is the perfect time for you to maybe go see a therapist. Yeah, I won't ever not say that on a live. I'm probably going to always say that. Go get help. Go figure out how to manage your emotions. Go figure out why you've lost yourself in other things and other people, or why you needed your children to make you feel, worthy, or why you needed someone else to make you feel worthy. Go hire somebody. Go hire a coach. Go get help. Go see a therapist. Go see a counselor. Go figure out yourself. Go figure out some stuff. Get connected. Whatever you do, don't isolate. And then the last one is change your thinking. I think I just kind of hit on that one briefly just in the other one. Change your thinking. Change your thinking. Often what keeps us stuck is what we're thinking about. That's usually what keeps us stuck. That and dealing with some stuff that probably hadn't been dealt with yet. Or not dealing with some stuff that hasn't been dealt with yet. But changing your thinking. In therapy, we call it reframe. So we take something that looks bad, but we reframe it into some good. So even though there's this loss that I'm looking at, there's this transition that I'm looking at, there's this uncertainty. Well, on the other hand of that, there's this opportunity of growth. There's the opportunity of meeting new people. There's the opportunity of maybe making more money, or maybe embracing new positions, or finding out new parts of yourself that you never knew. or watching your children grow up and watching the things that you've put inside of them over the last 18, 19, 20 years, watching that being manifested in their life, or the opportunity of being able to connect with them on a different level. Or being able to connect with your spouse on a different level, or being able to even to maybe open yourself up to different avenues, or different things, different opportunities, or different travel. Like, there's so many more opportunities. So change what you're thinking. Challenge the way that you're thinking about where you are. Dwelling on what you lost will only keep you stuck where you are. My pastor says this, Apostle Joshua Smith says this: if you complain, you remain. If you complain, and that was me. Like, I tell y'all, it was a wake-up call for me. It was like, whoo, I have not had to do this. Every minute I was complaining. I was unsure. And I was out every time I sat down to pray. I was like, Lord, I don't know. Like, Lord, I don't know what you're doing. But I had to get to the place to where I said, but you know what? I trust you. I trust your timing. I trust what you're doing. I trust that your plans are better than mine. Because they are. They far exceed mine. He's shown me that time and time in my life. It's like, Tiffany, you got this plan and that plan. Because, y'all know how we do. Like, we have all these plans about our life and how our lives should look and, what should happen. I tell people all the time, because I am a trained therapist. I went to school for my master's in therapist, a master's in marriage and family therapy. And I could be in a practice, I could own a practice, being a licensed practice therapist. But that ain't where God has me. That is not where God has me. It's not where he has me. And I've literally had to grieve. And I talk about this with one of my therapist friends. Because she's been so awesome. I love her. I just love her. My friend Suda. We have these conversations all the time. It's like, I've passed the test to be licensed. I've literally passed the test, y'all. Passed the test to be licensed. But it never works out. It never works out. And I've had to say, okay, where are you taking me? Father, where are you taking me? Because I don't want to waste time. And I don't want to waste time creating all these plans and backup plans to my backup plans and all these plan A's and plan B's and C's and D's and F. I was listening to Dr. Cindy Trim last night, and she was like, the power of intention is knowing that you are going to reach your goal and that you don't need a plan B. You don't need a plan C. You have a goal in mind, and hopefully the goal that you have in mind is the goal that you've downloaded from sitting in the presence of God, and you know where God is taking your life, or you about kind of know where you're headed and what he's called you to do. And the only part you need to do is submit to that and trust his timing. I don't know where that came from. I don't know where that came from, and maybe somebody other than me needed to hear that. But we just trust his timing. We literally just trust his timing. And so I've given you some tips on how you can handle where you are, your transition, your season of change successfully. And for those who are like, I just really don't know. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, I do feel lost. Yes, I have kind of lost myself into my children, or in my marriage, or in my relationship, or in my friends, or in my career. I've just kind of lost myself, and I really don't know who I am. I really don't know what I'm called to do, and I do feel stuck. I know that I can't move forward because I'm still weighed down by some things that have happened in the previous seasons. Then we have opened up our coaching. We have, I think it's like 5 or 6 slots left. We have about 5 or 6 slots left for coaching this month. I don't want to overwhelm myself, so I just kind of put a cap. I was like, this month I'm putting a cap. I needed to put a cap on my time because I had some other things that I've been doing for this month, and will continue on into September. And so I wanted to make sure that I put a cap on my time. So I have about 5, 6 slots left for those who want to work with me for this month. But we're always offering free discovery calls And in discovery calls, we literally spend 30 minutes in that call. The first 15 minutes where I'm seriously listening to you. Like, I'm listening to you. I'm trying to figure out, well, what's the best course of action? Do I need to refer them to a therapist? Is this something that, fits what we do in our coaching practice? Or is it something else that, that I need to do? I'm listening to you intently. And then the next 15 minutes is me spent giving you feedback. Me spent figuring out, or us spent the next 15 minutes figuring out, okay, what are your next steps if you're working with me? Or what is the best fit for you? So like I said, we're always offering coaching calls, the free discovery calls. Those don't close. But for those who know that they're ready to do some real work, they know that, hey, I've gotten just about as far as I can get. And the beauty of working with a coach is you literally get that experience of that coach. I told you guys, I'm a trained therapist. I don't do therapy. I'm not your therapist. That is not what coaching is. Coaching is very action oriented. So we sit down, we talk about our goal, 1 or 2 goals that you want to accomplish, and I literally help you lay out a plan of how to get there. It's not therapy. Coaching is more action oriented. It's more direct. It's more get things done. It's very different from therapy. So for those of you who know, hey, yeah, I'm ready to do some real work. And I've had clients call me like, you know what, thank you for the discovery call, but I'm ready to do some work. Like I called to figure out how to schedule with you. It's like, I already know what I want to do. I knew that when I saw you on live, or I knew that after watching so many of your videos, or after connecting you, I already knew what I wanted to work with you. We don't really need, thank you for the discovery call, Dr. Tiffany, but I don't really need that. I'm ready to do some work. And so for those of you who are ready to do some work, I have about 5 or 6, I'm not sure, 5 or 6 slots left for this month. And I'm closing those after next week. I'm closing those after next week, and they won't reopen until September. So I love you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, message me. You can get in contact with me. You can find me on my website, Dr. Tiffany Ross. You can contact drtiffanyross.com. You can contact us from our website. You can contact us from social media. If you're on Facebook, you can reach us there by just clicking the message button. If you're on Instagram, you can go straight to our profile. You can schedule directly from our profile. There's a link there that says schedule now. You can click there. It'll take you directly to our appointment page where you can schedule right from there. If you are on YouTube, check the description. Look in the description box. You will see schedule with us. Click on that button. It'll take you right to our appointment page where you can schedule your free discovery call with us. And if you're ready to do some work, you can go ahead on the schedule directly from that page. But whatever you do, don't sit stuck. Don't sit stuck. Don't sit dwelling on what you lost. Dwelling on the season that is gone. Like that season is over. It is over and you're walking into a new season. So now is the time for you to implement and prepare for your next season. So don't sit there idle. Do whatever you need to do so that you can walk into your next season successfully. I love you all. You have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye.